So for plant tissues, it's made of two tissue system, which is meristemic tissue system. Under meristemic tissue system, we have meristem tissue and also a meristemic tissue, and under permanent tissue system, it's divided into another two groups, which is simple permanent tissue that made up of only one type of cells, including the ground tissue system and also dermal tissue system. Meanwhile, for compound permanent tissue, it made up from more than one type of cell, which is referred to the vascular tissue system. Therefore, there are four types of tissue that you can find in plant, which is meristemic tissue, ground tissue, dermal tissue, and vascular tissue. So, what is meristemic tissue? Meristemic tissue are clumps of small cells with a very dense cytoplasm, and they have a proportionally large nuclei that have ability to divide. Meaning to say, meristemic tissue is the very active tissues that in which the cells is keep dividing. So it includes the elongations of the shoots and also at the root, and it takes place by repeated cell division and subsequent elongation by the apical meristem. So remember, apical meristem is responsible for the elongation. Meanwhile, for the lateral meristem, it is functions for to increasing the width of the plants, the stems, or to increase the girth. Okay, so it can be found. Meristemic tissue can be found in the shoot tip, the root tip, between the vascular tissues, and also the periderm. So other names of shoot tip is shoot apical meristem, root tip is root apical meristem. Between the vascular tissues, we call it as the ring is called as the vascular cambium, and the periderm is actually referred to the cork cambium. So as you can see here, this one is the apical meristem of the shoots. It's very dark because the cells are very small and dense that actively dividing. So meanwhile, this part is apical meristem of the root. Of course, it's very dark here, and it contains a lot of small cells that actively dividing. So apical meristem located at tip of shoots and also the roots, and of course it functions to elongate the plants, which is responsible for the primary growth. Meanwhile, the lateral meristem located at the stem and shoots, in which it helps to increase the girth or the width of the non-woody plant, and it's responsible for the secondary growth. So woody stems, including the cork cambium, which is produced the cork cells, vascular cambium, which is produced the secondary vascular tissue. Okay. Primary and secondary growth. Primary growth results from cell division at the apical meristems, either at the shoot tip or at the root tip, that resulting to the length of the plant growth. For secondary growth is result from the cell divisions at the lateral meristem, okay, either at the cork cambium, vascular cambium, and the shoot lateral meristem and root lateral meristem, that increase the shoot girth and also thickening the plant's body. So next is dermal tissue of plant. Dermal tissue of plant consists of epidermis and peristome. So epidermis is the outermost tissue layer, usually one cell thick, and it consists of a single layer of flattened cells. Multiple layers of epidermis also can occur instead of a single layer. So its functions is to cover the primary plant body, such as the stem, the leaves, and also the root. And epidermis contain no chloroplast and its structure is very transparent because it helps to allowing the light to penetrate into the tissue of the stems and also the roots, and they have spore. So under epidermal, we have epidermal cells, the gut cell, root hair, and trichomes. These small hairs here, very tiny hairs, is known as the trichomes. So functions of epidermal tissue is to cover the surface of the plant body to give them a protection, and also it helps to reduce the water loss by secreting a waxy water proofing substance that known as a chitin and also suberin. For gut cell, as you can see here, for gut cell is very important to control the movements of the carbon dioxide, the oxygen, and also the water, in which it will help to regulate the stomata. And the root hair here is help to increase the root surface area, okay, to absorb the water through the roots, okay. And trichome, they have a variable functions, so such as for absorption, protection, and also the reductions of water loss. So the next type of epidermal tissue is periderm. Periderm including the cock cell, cock cambium cell, and cock parenchyma cell. So for cock cell, here, as you can see here, okay, just below the epidermis, okay, the cock cells for protection that cover the surface of the plant body. It also helps to reduce the water and prevent disease-causing organisms from penetrating the plant. For the cock cambium, in the middle part here, the cock cambium cells is act as a meristemic cell that will actively dividing to provide or to form a new cell. Meanwhile, for the cock parenchyma cell here, it functions as a storage. Okay. So next, the third type of tissue that can be found in plant is ground tissue. Ground tissues composed of three types of tissues, either parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma tissue. So parenchyma is important for storage, secretion, photosynthesis, and also regeneration. Meanwhile, collenchyma tissue is important for flexible structural support, and sclerenchyma is the very tough one that will give a strong support and protections for the plant. Such as you can find it in the seed coat, that's why the seed coat or the shells of nuts is very strong and hard. It's difficult for you to break it up, okay? So let's look on more detailed characteristic on each type of this ground tissue. Parenchyma tissue, they're alive at maturity and they can be divided. The cells are large with a generally spherical and slightly irregular in shape. They have a thin primary cell wall, as you can see here. Usually have a large central vacuole and full of plastids. And also they lie present in the spongy and pellucid cells, and they also contain chloroplasts for the process of photosynthesis. For collenchyma only living when they are mature, okay? And collenchyma at the corner, they will become very thickened, okay, to make up the primary cell wall, and the structure or the shape is more elongated compared to parenchyma, and it often found in the rapidly growing parts and of the plant that need to be strengthened. So you can find it also beneath the epidermis of the young stem, the young roots, the leaf stalk, the petiole, such as in celery, and also within the vascular tissue of left vein. And meanwhile, for the lignified primary cell wall of the colon tissue. It helps to allow them to stretch. Okay, next is sclerenchyma, still underground tissue of plant. Sclerenchyma is a non-living or dead tissue that lack of protoplasm at maturity, and it can be found in all parts of both the primary and secondary body plant. And the cell also contain lignin, very thick, and build up a uniform layer of lignified rigid secondary walls of the entire margins of the cell. There are two types of cell that you can find in sclerenchyma tissue. The first one is strong supporting fiber. Strong supporting fiber, it is actually referred to the strands or bundles in hem, flax, and jute that very thin lumen or cell cavity that as the space left after the protoplasm have been decayed inside the sclerenchyma. So it helps to provide the support for the plants frequently associated with the conductive tissue of root and stem. Next type of cell that you can find in sclerenchyma tissue is hard stone cell, which is also known as a sclerites. Sclerites are very in shape and often branch structure, and they occur either in single or a group in the ground tissue throughout the plant, and they are called as a stone cell because they are very hard that make up the seed coat of the seed, shells of the nut, stone of the drops, and give the pear its gravity texture. And primarily, of course, it is for protection. Okay, here you can look by yourself later. Sclerenchyma, collenchyma, and parenchyma. Last but not least is vascular tissue. Vascular tissue um, um, embedded in the ground tissue, and it transports needed materials such as the food, the water, okay, and the minerals throughout the plant via two complex tissue, which is the xylem and phloem. And also it helps to provide the strength and support. Okay, and remember, xylem and phloem are continuous throughout the plant body. Okay, so first type of vascular tissue, which is the xylem. Xylem helps to conduct water and dissolve nutrient minerals from the root to the stem and also to the leaves of the plant. And it also provides a structural support, and xylem is composed for four different cell types. You have a tracheids, vessel elements, xylem parenchyma cells, and also the fiber. Tracheids helps in xylem. It functions to conduct the water and nutrient mineral. Same with the vessel element plus the support. For xylem parenchyma cells, its function for storage, meanwhile the fiber function is for support and also the strength. For phloem, it functions to conduct the food material or the starch that being formed or produced during the photosynthesis. It will transport it throughout the plant, and also it helps to provide the structural support. Food material are conducted in solution, which is dissolved in water. So phloem also composed of four different cell types. First one is sieve tube element, companion cells, phloem collenchyma cell, and sclerenchyma cell, in which the sieve tube elements inside the phloem helps to conduct the sugar in solution and also for support. Meanwhile, companion cell helps to control the functioning of the sieve tube element, and it helps to loading sugar into the sieve tube elements. For phloem parenchyma, same with the xylem parenchyma cell, it's help for its function for the storage, and the fiber in phloem also same function with the fiber in xylem, in which it is important for the support and also the strength of the phloem. So I think that's all for today, class. Thank you.